Bum. All right, folks, this is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get the show started. Here we go. That's too funny. Hey, and good morning, everybody. It's Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all for being a part of the show today. It is it's Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. No, it's Tuesday. It's got to be, because we got a special guest coming on in a couple of, or tomorrow. So I want to welcome you all to the show today, especially all of my friends over on Facebook and Twitter. If you're on our YouTube channel, we'd love to see you. As a matter of fact, if you're coming on to our YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and, ding the little reminder there that so that you can actually be reminded of when the show comes on. And if you're on Facebook and you like our show, and let's say you don't want to, you don't want to, I don't know, you don't want to see my face the whole time. Okay, you can actually download the podcast, and we're on Spotify, and I think we're on Anchor. I think we're on Apple Podcast by now. So you can. There's a lot of places you can actually get to the show, which is fantastic. We also have a new page that we're on, and it's our Livin Weekly page. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. But I want to welcome you all to the show, and if you're in any one of those pages, on our Facebook page, on our Livin in Vegas page, our group page, or our business page, or on our Livin Weekly page, I can actually see you all. So if you have any questions or anything like that, be sure to let me know. Definitely will answer any of your questions that you have. And it might take me a minute. It might take me a minute to answer your questions, like to say hello or something like that. But I generally can see you. For those of you, this might be the first time you're ever checking us out. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. That's a quarterly magazine. Comes out. Our next magazine is actually coming out in April, and so here's actually the cover for the magazine. I'll tell you. Oops, let's get a different thing here. So the other magazine's coming out right now. It's coming out. This is actually the cover for the new magazine's coming out. And these wonderful people here are Greg and Kristen Berta, and they are the owners of a local business here in town called Junk Luggers, and love them. They're a wonderful couple. We want to thank them for being a part of Livin in Vegas, and as being sponsors of the show, being sponsors of the magazine, that kind of stuff. And you'll see a real interesting story about them in the upcoming magazine, the upcoming April edition of Livin Vegas magazine. And I failed to mention that we've got one of our contributing writers. Her name is Robin Ochita. And Robin, oh my gosh, she's writing a story that you've got to check out. We believe that Las Vegas actually extends out from, even though it's the center part of town, it's near the downtown area. The Las Vegas encompasses a huge area. I mean, the Strip, we consider the Strip part of Las Vegas. Henderson, actually, for many of us, we consider Henderson, our little baby brother. And even Pahrump are some of the areas that, and Boulder City. Love Boulder City. And so Robin, I reached out to her a couple of weeks back and said, hey, can you do a story for us? And she said, I got a great story, because she grew up in Henderson. And so we've got a real cool story about Water Street. And if you know anything about Las Vegas and Henderson, you know that Water Street has exploded. And so you got a real cool story about that. So I want to thank Robin Campbell Ochita for writing the story for us, and got tons of more stuff in it. So check that out. If you want to see the current edition of Livin in Vegas magazine, just go to our website. And that's at livininvegas.com. That's at livininvegas.com, and you can actually check that out. And if you would like us to email us to you, want to get on our mailing list, definitely get on our mailing list. And all you got to do is send me an email at info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. We got a lot more. What did I do? I didn't even do the stuff that I was supposed to do. Oh my gosh, I was sitting there screwing around the whole time, and I didn't put some of my graphics in. That's right. It's no big deal. So there was a. Let me before we do that. So we've got a mixer coming up, and the mixer is actually called the Happy Hour. So the Happy Hour, it's a business networking mixer, and it's going to be over at the Horse Trailer Hideout. We just opened up the tickets for this. We actually thought they were going to be up for about a month now, but something happened. I don't know what happened. Something happened. I don't know. And when it did, we just got screwed, and it happens from time to time. But this event's April 7th, 537, 1506 South Main Street in beautiful downtown Las Vegas. So you can actually be a part of that event. We will put the link to this event on our Facebook page. It's definitely on our website, and you can actually check that out. As we progress along in the show, I'll actually talk about that. Hey, so there was a local company that it's a Las Vegas-based company that has sent over drones to Poland to help with the Ukrainian war effort. Yeah, this is a story that I just had to tell you. I mean, it's an amazing story. Many of you have heard about Blake Resnick. He's the CEO of Brink Drones in Las Vegas. And he developed a drone that can actually, the drone actually can speak and can hear and to have two-way communication with the user. So he developed that during the October 1 incident that happened a few years ago. And so it's the only drone of its type in the world. And so he is of Ukrainian descent and decided, hey, the first responders in Ukraine need my technology. And so he went over to Poland. There were some Ukrainian first responders who were able to get to Poland, and he and his team over at Brink Drones were able to train these first responders, because they're going to find, and what they've found that they probably already ran into, where bombed up buildings. They have to be able to communicate with the people that are in there, hopefully find people, that kind of stuff. And so he's already back. So he's back in the United States already. But it's what a connection that we've got people here in the Valley who are raising money. They're doing adoptions for babies and stuff like that. We reported on that a couple of weeks back. And now we've got a guy who has a drone, technological stuff. And so you would think that Blake is an older guy. He's only 22 years old. And that's the cool thing about it. He's a young cat, Ukrainian descent. He says that he knew that his technology was going to be important. But this is big. Just a big, big story. So we're very excited for the Las Vegas connection, even more in a bigger way over in Ukraine. On a lighter note, the Las Vegas has been selected, folks, for the NCAA tournaments starting 22, 23, and 25 and 26. So this was, we are, and many of those games are going to be played at T-Mobile Arena. And some of you might remember what's going on right now. We have the Sweet 16 and the Sweet 8 that's playing in the NCAA tournament. And so we're going to have that here, folks. I saw the list of games, and we're going to leave a link to this on our website at livinvegas.com. And also, I got to tell you about the other one too. But there are, so they listed some of the events that we're going to be hosting, 22, 23, 23, 24, 25, and 26. It's huge. It's huge, the amount of games that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing men's basketball, golf, women's bowling, excuse me, over at South Point. Spanish Trails is going to be doing golf. UNLV, women's soccer, which is great in 2024, and many, many more. So, very excited about some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. Um, Las Vegas is quickly becoming the sports capital of the world. This isn't happening. Excuse me. I need some coffee. This sort of activity is not happening everywhere. We are rivaling states with populations 4 times our amount. And I'm talking about California and New York. We're rivaling them easily because of so many of the things that are going on. As a matter of fact, I believe we're going to have the NFL draft is coming up pretty quick. It's here in Vegas. So just some cool things that are going on here in the state that you just cannot beat it. Here's a real quick, got a quick announcement for you. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Wow, and what a great... who was that guy? Well, got a great suit on, I know that. So if you are a... I don't know, somebody who's a business owner and you really would like to get on TV, or excuse me, on our podcast. And our podcast is actually done not only just here on Facebook, but we're actually all over the world with the podcast now, which is just fantastic. If you would like to, you're on a small budget, we just have a few of these spots open for you, contact us. You can be an underwriter for the Livin in Vegas podcast, and just contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. It's advertising@livininvegas.com. Okay. I did not make an announcement because we've actually got a new website that's up for Livin Weekly. So I didn't make that. Where's it at? Here it goes. So Livin is our new magazine that we're coming out with, folks, and we're really excited about that. And the website's up where you can actually check this out. What we found is that a lot of people cannot wait for the magazine to come out, the Livin in Vegas magazine to come out. So we've come out with Livin Weekly, which is great. If you're already on our mailing list, you're already receiving this already. If you're not on our mailing list, you need to get on our mailing list. You really do. This is so important because we have a lot of people who want to get on our mailing list, and they don't, for whatever reason, get on the mailing list. But you can actually get on our mailing list. And so the mailing list is actually info@livinweekly.com. That's info@livinweekly.com. We'll put you on our mailing list where you can actually get Livin Weekly magazine, which is cool. Or if you just want to go to the website, just go to the website at www.livinweekly.com. You can actually go to that. Very excited about the new publication. It's just fun. Love working on it, and now we're doing a lot of work with Livin in Vegas. So it's an amazing thing that we're actually working on. There was a guy that we can take that down now. Yeah, okay. So there's a guy who was accused of making bomb threats, referencing the October 1 at a Las Vegas casino. And what some of the crazy stuff these people do is amazing. So this happened Monday. A man was arrested over the weekend, and he was at one of the local casinos, and he said he was at the Gold Coast, and he said on Saturday that he made threats about having a bomb. And so they're charging him. They're saying, hey, you said something about it being a bomb. Now, whether the guy did it or not, it's probably not the point. The point is that he actually said it, and which is disturbing. You really should not, if you're not going to do something crazy, then you probably should not do anything crazy like that. Also, in other news, there was a lady who was just found. Wow, this is a battle. She was found in a storage unit over in the north west part of town, and her death is being considered suspicious. So as the story goes, the Metro finds this lady. She's about in her 50s. They're still trying to figure out who she is, and she was found in a storage unit on the inside of the storage unit, locked into the storage unit. They believe that she had been staying there for several days, and that there were other people staying in the storage unit. The suspicious part was that you cannot lock the storage unit from the inside. So they're looking for people right now, and they're saying, hey, if you've got any kind of information on this, the lady who was in the storage unit died, and they're still trying to find the cause of her death. So we'll put information. We'll put the contact for this. You can go to Crime Stoppers of North Vegas or Nevada, NV. CrimeStoppersOfNV.com if you have any information that can lead to somebody finding out what's going on with this thing. This is kind of crazy that you would have something like this happen. Stress, folks. Everybody we know is stressed out. Not just a little bit, a lot of stressed out. And Las Vegas, we're actually ranked one of the most stressed places in the nation. And so it's an interesting article that I was reading. 1 in 3 Americans sometimes feel so stressed about the pandemic that it hurts their ability to make basic decisions. But here in the state of Nevada, we have added stressors. One is personal bankruptcy. Another one is that we losing our jobs. The pandemic has hit us. Now we've got fuel prices. Our divorce rate is higher, and so we've got some issues here in the state. So we'll leave a link to this study so you can actually check it out. So one of the things that I do, and to tell you the truth, folks, I have a lot of things I do every day. I mean, not just a few things. From the time I get up in the morning, which is about 4:30 in the morning that I get up. Yeah, I know. I'm up really early. Well, because I work out. You can tell. You can tell by the gun rack that you see here that I work out, right? No, I work out, and the reason why I work out, excuse me, is because I have a lot of things that I do, and I've got to keep up my strength during the day. And if I did not work out, if I wasn't physically fit, I just could not do all the stuff that I do on a daily basis. And so when a lot of people are, and so one of the things that I know, there's a lot of studies that are going around, and it was saying that you need to eat healthier, you need to do this, you need that. I think one of it, and this is my personal opinion, I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV, is that a lot of people are, it's not so much of the stuff that you eat, it's what you do during the day that I think leads to whether or not you are healthier or not. You can eat really well, and I know a lot of people who eat just so well. I mean, they really do. They just eat. I know. Thank you, Chris. I do have a gun rack. I know. I just saw. I know. I just was over on our Livin Weekly page, and thank you. And Chris says I look good in my jacket. Well, it's funny. I had to change this jacket because my other jacket was reflecting green. So one of the things you can do to relieve stress in your life is to work out. I mean, this is, to me, the more you work out, the better off you are. And you can eat really well all day long. And I know some people who eat just great. I mean, they do. They have vegetables, they drink a bunch of water, and they weigh 500 pounds. Okay? Because they don't do anything during the day. A ship only floats because of resistance. Does that make sense to you? I know this is going to be one of those leadership things, right? A ship will not, if there was no resistance, a ship would not float. And you need resistance in life in order to work at your optimum. A runner is not a long distance runner is not a finely tuned athlete because he eats well. Okay, I want you to understand. Hear the whole thing. A runner is a finely tuned athlete because he runs. Okay, food is part of it. Yes, food is part of it, but really, it's because he runs. You look at some of the runners who were in Greek mythology. You look at some of the people who are in Africa, the Ethiopians especially. They run. That's what they do. So, in order to relieve stress, your body needs resistance. And it needs, so don't try to avoid stress. Don't try to avoid those things in life that get you moving. You need to embrace them and make them a part of your day. Because I'll tell you, I am stressed all day long. I mean, all day long, because I have deadlines. I've got a lot of things that I do. But I'm a horse. I really am. I can ride 100 miles because I've learned to deal with that. Okay. It's the kind of stress, I should say. I guess people should say it's the kind of stress that you have in life that really gets you. Okay, so you probably should look at it that way. What else we want to start? So I need to make an announcement. Nikki Ferguson is going to be on the show tomorrow. Okay, Nikki Ferguson. So some of you may know Nikki. You've probably seen her if you're watching the NCAA tournament for the women's basketball. You've seen Nikki. Okay, Nikki is one of the commentators, one of the three commentators for the women's NCAA. She's also the president of the Las Vegas Aces. So she's a rock star. There's no doubt about it. We are just so grateful that she's going to be on the show tomorrow. So be here tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning, for Nikki Ferguson. She'll be here on the Livin in Vegas podcast. And it's an exclusive, so we're very excited about it. Tell your friends, come on. If you are on our Facebook, on any one of our Facebook pages, we will actually, we'll make sure that we're able to get you, so if you have any questions of Nikki, that you can actually ask her questions. So, Nikki Ferguson, tomorrow on Livin in Vegas. So very, very excited about her being on the show. So Derek Carr, many of you know this man, Derek the Man Carr. He's a quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. Coach Josh McDaniels is saying that the Raiders are trying to build a team around Derek Carr, and they're looking for the sweet spot. Find an acceptable contract extension that won't hamper the franchise in the future. And Derek is evidently entering into his final season of his $125 million 5-year extension. That was the richest in the NFL at the time he signed in 2017. So, and this is really what has happened with the NFL in the last number of years, where they go all out for a player, and not that Derek Carr is not worth it, because he's a bad boy. He's doing a great job for the Raiders and everything else, but they end up having to come back eventually and to try to make things work, and it just makes it tough. I mean, it really makes it tough. So we hope that the Raiders are able to work out some of the stuff that's been going on with Derek Carr contracts, because we've let go of a few players that we really need on the defensive side and on the offensive side. We've been watching all around the league where people have been losing their players. Matter of fact, the Kansas City Chiefs got rid of their wide receiver. Oh, what a mistake. But you know what? The brother's making money. So we'll see what happens with the Raiders. While we're talking about sports, Bryce Hamilton, UNLV. Bryce Hamilton, our star over at UNLV. He's entering the 2022 draft. What? Yes. 21-year-old tweeted out a statement thanking the supporters and ending with the news. With that being said, I will be entering the 2022 NBA draft. Wow. Bryce. Okay, so here's the deal with Bryce. Okay, Bryce, if you've been watching this show, and many of you have been watching the show for a little bit now, you know I love me some UNLV Running Rebels. Okay, and I especially love number 13, Bryce Hamilton. If it were not for Bryce, many of the games that we were in or we won were a direct result of Bryce Hamilton. So, for him to announce that he's going to the NBA draft is not a real big surprise. It really isn't. He's just a phenom. He's a great guy. We've had some great players in UNLV history, and Bryce is now another one. Okay, so and it's funny. We did a story about this. Hopefully you got this. We did a story about the number of players who actually ended up in the NFL or the NBA and went to UNLV. It's a staggering number, actually. So a lot of people go, oh, I got to go up to Reno, I got to go to UCLA, I got to go here. UNLV is the place you want to be at. We have a lot of players who actually went to UNLV that actually ended up in the NFL or they ended up in the NBA. So, I mean, we had Stacey Augmon, gosh, I mean, who else? Had tons of guys. I mean, gosh, Greg, I forgot all the guys' names. Most of the guys that were on the Tarks team all ended up in the NBA draft, and even after that, we still had players that were Armand Gilliam. I'm trying to remember all the names. So, for now Bryce Hamilton to go in, it's just not a surprise. He will probably go pretty well. I don't know how high did they say he was going to go. Didn't say. But he was first team All-American in the All Mountain West Conference. Then in 2019, 2020, and again as a senior in 2022. So very excited for him. And I know there's a lot of kids like they're saying, well, UNLV. UNLV is doing fantastic. Our girls were in the NCAA tournament. They lost in the first round, but hey, that's all right. They made it in. Where a lot of teams have never made it in, and our girls did. So very, very cool about that. How much time did we have? Oh, just a minute. Crap. Once again, I want to make another announcement for you folks. If you would like to get a copy of Livin Magazine. So Livin Magazine, we're just coming out with that. It just so happens that Livin Magazine and Livin Vegas Magazine, Livin Weekly Magazine and Livin in Vegas Magazine are coming out at pretty much the same time. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to... no, I won't do it. So if you would like a copy of Livin Weekly, you need to send me your email address. You just need to contact me. And it's really easy to do. All you've got to do is send me an email and just send it to... where's the link? There we go. Just send it to... Oh, sorry about that, folks. Let's get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. And we will get rid of... I know. There's so many things that are on here. Okay. Info. I know. So many confusing things. info@livinweekly.com. info@livinweekly.com, and we will get you a copy of Livin Weekly Magazine. Okay, so it's really important that you get that. And I think that's about all we can do today. Okay. Anyways, so tomorrow we will have Nikki Ferguson will be on the show tomorrow. And so I'm very excited about that. So call all your friends. Tell everybody to be here on the show tomorrow for Nikki Ferguson. You will not regret. You really won't. So just be with us tomorrow, okay? Anyways, it's been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas Magazine, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas, because it's all about Vegas all the time. It's been a blast, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning. Nikki Ferguson.